You gotta just chill out, man.
Pittsburgh Steeler fans, welcome back to another episode of the Scho Bro Show. This is Steel Curtain Network editor Dave Schofield coming at you Tuesday night. Unfortunately, it's more about quarter after 9 p.m., but hey, where else would you rather be, Steelers fans? And with me as always, except when he's not, is my big brother Rich, Big Bro Scho. How are you doing this wonderful Tuesday evening?
Oh, just peachy.
Well, I tell you what, I'm really excited because the music actually works. It hasn't been working on stuff. Sorry that we're a little bit later, but sometimes it's still continuing to work out some things that are just not bad, just different with the new streaming service. But I'm assuming we're going and we're live on YouTube, so
We are
that should
live
be
on
pretty
YouTube.
good.
We are.
And I think we're live on Facebook as well, so it's all working well. But hey. If you're here listening to us on the audio forum at a later time, that's great as well. Rich, let's talk about the news. And we're done. Okay.
Good.
Because this is the time of year that you don't expect Steelers news. Of course, when we were on vacation, we didn't expect Steelers news, and that's when we got the big blockbuster trade. I'm going to tell you, I've got an article coming out tomorrow, Wednesday, at steelcurtainnetwork.com. It's my non-salary cap update, because bottom line is people have been asking me a lot of questions about the salary cap. I got it in the Q&A as I expect. Man, the numbers just aren't coming in for exactly how things are going down with Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. So I wanted to give an update as to what those numbers are and what the problem is. So I at least explained that and laid that out a little bit more. So if you want to check that out tomorrow, actually, I really hope people would check that out at steelcurtainnetwork.com. But, Rich, we're down to our last two shows before training camp.
Next week, this time, it will be training camp eve.
Yes. Now, I consider training camp when they report, right? Even though we don't have a practice till the next day. It's like, let's just say it. Next Tuesday is day 40. Day 40 of the 40-day Steelers Fest. That's it, because there's nothing, and then the next day, there's something. So I don't know. I'm ready for them to get there.
I love seeing all the video clips of the guys coming in. I really do. It's to me, it's exciting. So,
yeah, what else are you going to look forward to? It's kind of a build-up, and you're always ready for the next thing. Doesn't it seem like that's the case? You're like, oh, just show me videos of players showing up to camp and talking to the media. You see it, you love it. You hear maybe a little bit about, hopefully don't hear about anyone getting injured pushing a sled or anything like that. And you get that. You're like, oh, give me practice tomorrow. Give me practice tomorrow. Then you get to practice. You're like, yes, practice. Then you get practice on Friday. Yeah, practice. Then you keep going. You're like, all right, give me pads. Give me pads. I need pads. Then you got to wait till the next Tuesday. You finally get pads. You're like, yes, pads. Here we go. All right, give me a preseason game. I'm ready to see them go against somebody else. It's always the next thing and the next thing. But in order to get to that next thing, you got to start somewhere.
that's
One
right.
last
And
question before
we'll be talking about practice.
practice. Yes, exactly. And sorry we don't have our other sounds for you right now. But Rich, I got to ask you this big question before we get into our topic of we've done this for years now. This is our next to last show before training camp. We do potential first-time Pro Bowlers. Next week, we'll talk about I can't remember if we call it Camp Phenom or Camp Darling. I don't know exactly which one we use.
I'm pretty sure we call him Camp Darling.
Yes. That's that. Because I remembered I started using the opposite word the first time we talked about it, and you really scolded me. So that's why I always second guess it. So we're already telling you, that'll be next week. This is kind of a tradition for us. But before we do that, Rich, do you know yet when you are going to be in Latrobe?
I don't.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to ask you before the show, I thought I'd ask you.
I'm hoping to know before next Tuesday.
Okay, well, that would be nice, because the question is, are you trying to hold off till there's a potential of padded practices?
Yes.
Because remember, you could wait until what you hope to be a padded practice, only to find out that it's not padded anyway, because I don't think they can have 3 padded practices in a row. So I'll be honest, Mondays are their off days, which honestly, that kind of sucks because for me, if there was one day that I could maybe fit it in better than another day, it might be a Monday because I don't have any podcasts on Monday. But I don't like that. Once again, I'm still not sure that I'm going to head out there or not. Never been there still. So sometime I have to make sure that I change that. But Big Bro and hashtag Pay Kyle going to be there as well.
I don't know. Depends on once we get it scheduled. I got to get with the basketball coach at the college because he's the one that brought it up to me and said, "Hey, are we going to go again this year? I'd kind of like to go." If so, there's going to be a foursome if Kyle can go. Because also one of the other guys that works for me and is an assistant on the baseball team that is a big-time Steeler fan, he's wanting to go too. He told me today. He's like, "Hey, if you all are going, tell me." I was like, "Okay." So,
Well, and I'm going to say right now, if you're with us here live in the live chat and you're heading to Latrobe at all, put it in the live chat. Let us know that you're going.
Yep.
Even if you don't know what day you're going, but you know you're going to be there,
Exactly.
say, "I'll be there." Put it out there, and we'll you know what? As we see those coming in, we'll bring them up to let people know that people are coming. So, Rich, this has always been a fun one, and this is why we stuck with this one for however many years now. Is that we want to talk about players on the Pittsburgh Steelers that have yet never made a Pro Bowl, yet we think they could be in line to make their first Pro Bowl this year. So that's what we're looking at tonight. Now, I have our lists from last year. You ready? You ready for a little review?
sure, because I can't remember anybody I put on my list
Gotcha.
last year.
All right. Well, I've got it marked here. I got to flip back in my papers because it was quite some time ago, but I was able to find it. I also found our camp darlings too, for the last 2 years. So we'll be able to talk about them next week. But here we go. Rich's list, counting down 5-1 from last year. You had 5. You had Broderick Jones. 4, Alex Highsmith. 3, George Pickens. 2, Keanu Benton, and 1, Joey Porter Jr. Notice none of those guys made the Pro Bowl.
I noticed.
For mine, I had 5, Pat Freiermuth. 4, Isaac Seumalo. 3, Keanu Benton. 2, George Pickens, and 1, Joey Porter Jr. So technically, I was the only one who got one who then made his first Pro Bowl because even though he didn't have as strong a year as the year before, I recall saying on this show, hey, remember, offensive line, it's name recognition. Sometimes you get it a year after you should, even if you don't have the strongest year. And honestly, I think that's what happened with Isaac Seumalo, who was selected as an alternate and then ultimately was there for the Pro Bowl.
See, I didn't know if we were counting alternates or not. Because,
Well, I mean,
that's kind of, yeah. With as
guess
many
what?
guys that opt out of it, it's like,
I know.
Come on.
I got you. But at the same time, guess what he has next to his name now? One-time
What?
Pro Bowler. So now, would you like a review of members of the Pittsburgh Steelers that made the Pro Bowl last year?
sure.
These are players that made the Pro Bowl for the Steelers last year, just because I have it here in front of me. You have Miles Killebrew, Chris Boswell, Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's no longer with the team, Patrick Queen, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Isaac Seumalo, and Russell Wilson, who's no longer with the team. There are other players on the Steelers who have made the Pro Bowl. What's crazy is a lot of the players that the Steelers added this year already made the Pro Bowl. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, Darius Slay, Patrick Ramsey. I said Patrick Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey. I don't know where Patrick came from. Jalen Ramsey. And Jonnu Smith. All of them, they made the Pro Bowl before. Is there anyone else that you can think of on this? Okay, DK Metcalf has made the Pro Bowl. That's another big addition. So, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. I have an alert on my computer, and I can't see your face anymore, and I can't get it to go away. So, gotta love some of the stuff going on.
Now you can't see my face either.
No, I can't see your face at all. So that's who I'm trying to think if there's any other players on the Steelers that made the Pro Bowl that just wasn't on the Pro Bowl last year. I think that's all. I think that's it. So, are you ready to dive into this?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that
So
my
let's start
cue
with number
to go?
5.
Actually, no, I'm not going to start with number 5.
Okay.
I'm going to start with someone who I've chosen to leave off of my list.
Okay.
And they were on my list last year, but I'm leaving them off of my list this year.
Okay.
And that would be Alex Highsmith.
You know what?
Because Kyle helped me with the list. And we put him out there initially, and we're just like, when you're the second best edge rusher on your team, you're probably not going to make it as an edge rusher.
I had him at number 5 and then replaced him. Same deal. Because it's the same problem. He's going to have a fit. I mean, my goodness, the year that he should have made it was the year TJ Watt missed half the season, and it still was Watt over him.
Yep.
So I feel really bad for Alex Highsmith. I think he'll eventually get there, but it might have to be after TJ Watt's career's over. Hopefully he's still going even after TJ Watt's gone. Hopefully they're both still in Pittsburgh, all that good stuff. So, yeah. I'm glad you said that because no joke. I had him and then I remembered someone else and I replaced him.
Yep. So for me with number 5, again, you got to remember I consider my number 5 going a little further out on a limb here. But my number 5 would be inside linebacker Peyton Wilson.
Oh, there you go. See, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have Peyton Wilson because of the whole Patrick Queen thing.
I know.
Now, if he very well could make it over Patrick Queen this year.
Yes.
That's going to be
that's actually more what I'm leaning towards is that, because honestly, last year, in my opinion, he and Queen played very equivalent football.
Yeah.
Patrick Queen got the Pro Bowl nod because he's the recognizable name.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if Peyton Wilson comes out this year and were to outplay him, he would be the selection.
Yeah. That's a really good one. I should have thought of that one, and I didn't. Because I was really trying to think about positions where people could possibly, you wouldn't have to, battle somebody else, blah, 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 all that good stuff.
Yes.
On your own team. So that's a really good one. And honestly, I could see that. I think Patrick Queen's one of the more forgotten key parts of the Steelers defense. Like I was listening to Let's Ride. When was that? Was that on Friday? Pretty sure it was Friday when Jeff was talking about the nucleus players to build around, not the older aging, not the TJ Watts, not the Cam Haywards, but guys that you think are going to be around a while. The first name I thought of on defense was actually Patrick Queen. Jeff never even mentioned him. He doesn't think that Queen's going to be around.
Peyton Wilson.
Yeah. Huh?
We've been talking about Peyton Wilson. Did you mean to say Patrick Queen?
No, I meant to say Patrick Queen. He said Peyton Wilson. I said Patrick Queen. Because I think Peyton Wilson's ability to make the Pro Bowl has a lot to do with Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen's got the name, who's been there before. It's recognizable. He would have to completely outplay him in order to get there. So I do think that that's a big part of whether or not he can make the Pro Bowl. So yeah, I would love to see it. But that was a really good one. You ready for my number 5?
Lay it on me.
I didn't actually write yours down, so I better do that. Okay, my number 5 is, and there's a reason it's number 5, because I think it could be a year too soon, and you'll understand when I say it. But I'm going to say offensive tackle Troy Fautanu.
It's a year too soon, which is why he wasn't on my list.
And the reason I think it's a year too soon is because he only played one game last year, played well, then was hurt. If he comes out and plays well on this Steelers line, he could be someone who gets noticed. I
For him
am curious if it would take more than 1 year for him to get noticed would be part of the problem. But that's why I put him on my list, but I put him at the very bottom. Because if he comes out and is fantastic, that's the thing. If you're that good, then you can really get there.
He'd have to come out and be dominant from game 1.
Yes.
Game 1 through game 17 and potentially further.
Yes.
You know.
So I could be sold on replacing him with Peyton Wilson. I look at them both kind of close.
I see your reason. You know, as we said, that number 5 spot's the one. You know, you're probably going a little further out on a limb, or thinking about it a little differently. Mm-hmm. So,
yep. There we go. All right, are you ready for number 4?
Yes, number 4. Safety Deshaun Elliott.
Really?
Yep.
You know what?
What?
I'm going to wait on that one because I want to say my number 4 is safety Deshaun Elliott.
Nice. And I'm betting you even put him at 4 kind of for some of the same reasons I had him at 4.
Honestly, he's the one I almost forgot about where I almost included Highsmith. But if you really want to know the truth, Deshaun Elliott was the better safety on the Steelers last year. But because of the name and everything, Minkah Fitzpatrick made the Pro Bowl.
Right.
But I would argue that he was the better safety on the team last year. So not having Minkah, that actually creates it creates a Steelers vacuum, meaning you're not going to put 2 safeties from the same team. So that creates that as a possibility, especially if he plays even better than he did last year.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He had a great year last year. If he follows it up with another really good year this year, with Minkah Fitzpatrick not being on the team now, all eyes at safety could be on him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I agree. So that's why I was worried. I'm like, can I come up with 5 names this year and everything? No, it wasn't a problem because Deshaun Elliott, man, it would be really nice to see him make the Pro Bowl this year. That would be really good. That's both of ours. And we're still rolling along.
We both hit that one the same. I wonder if we'll hit any more the same.
I wonder because I was really torn about the order for my next 2. I could have gone either way, and you'll see why. Because they both kind of have a little bit of the same reasoning of where I have stuff with them. We still got time, so let's go ahead and roll through our number 3s before we take our break.
Okay. So, yeah, I wonder if our next ones are also going to. Our next 2 could potentially, we could have them flip flop, but they're going to potentially be there.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Zach Frazier.
Your number 3 is Zach Frazier. Okay.
Yes.
Why do you have Zach Frazier? Why do you have him?
I'd put him higher, except right now we talked about last week. Yeah, there are only 2 centers that are ranked above him in the NFL. Well, they're both AFC centers.
Yes, they are.
And that's the tough part with Tyler Linderbaum and Creed Humphrey being out there. He's got to play noticeably better than the 2 of them to have any chance.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with him is that it's pretty sad. You could be the
AFC is loaded with good centers.
Yes, they are. Because he could be the 3rd best center and not make the Pro Bowl. But I mean, and the top NFC center could be like 6.
Yeah,
and they're still going to make it. It's the way it is. So
yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll talk a little bit more on him later.
Okay.
So instead, I'm going to go ahead and give you my number 3.
Okay.
My number 3 is Joey Porter Jr.
Okay.
And the reason I put him here is this. if Joey Porter Jr. plays better than Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, then they have to put him in the Pro Bowl. If he's the top cornerback on the Steelers with those two guys on the roster, then I think he's going to get noticed. Unless it's because those guys are just an absolute disaster and everything's a disaster and things of that nature.
No, there's other reasons.
Okay.
But we'll talk about those later.
So we'll talk. So to me, that's why I put Joey Porter Jr. there. I mean, his name has been floated out there some with stuff with quality play, even though he doesn't get a lot of love from PFF. But not only that, the reason I have him as number 3, I'll tell you, is because he would have to be better than both of those guys. That's 2 guys on his own team that he could possibly need to be better than in order to, assuming that one of them's not playing safety, if you know what I mean. And that's where it would go. And you want to talk more about him later, right?
I will talk more about him later.
Okay, so what we're going to do now instead is we'll see. We'll have to see if the music works. We're going to go ahead and take our break so we can come back and finish up this list. Also, before we take the break, got to say it. It's live chat week. Live chat is responsible for the 5 minutes of non-Steelers talk. So make sure you put that, label it as
5
what
men.
you're going to do.
5 men.
Right, 5 men, colon, and then type it out what it is.
Type it out.
You all are responsible for that. So start thinking of that. Go ahead and throw them in anytime. Rich is going to be gathering those. I'll see him as well. And then we'll decide which one we're going to do. So we'll finish up our list, our 5 minutes of non-Steelers talk, and we'll get our big question. So stick around. We'll be right back after this break.
Relax, don't worry, no rush, what's the hurry? Relax, don't worry, don't worry, relax. Relax, don't worry, no rush, what's the hurry? Relax, don't worry, don't worry, relax.
All right, we got to relax and don't worry. We actually got some music. It was a little bit delayed. I think I might have figured out what I can do when it doesn't work for me. But that's all. That's a whole different thing. As Brian Anthony used to say, breaking down the fourth wall with going on with their podcast. But Rich, hey, I love this topic. This is a good one. We're talking about Steelers who could make their first Pro Bowl in 2025. We'll see if we get any of these right. So far, we've each done 5 through 3. Where mine 5, 4, and 3 went Troy Fautanu 5, Deshaun Elliott 4, Joey Porter Jr. 3. You have Peyton Wilson 5, Deshaun Elliott 4, Zach Frazier 3. Now why don't you go ahead and roll on into number 2?
All right. For me, number 2 would be tight end Pat Freiermuth.
Your number 2 is tight end Pat Freiermuth.
Now, you could say this could be a tough one to call, but there's some you have to stop and break down and think about things, okay? Yes, it is tough because anytime you're in the AFC, we got to talk about that guy that dates that singer person that,
He's starting to fall off, man. He is not ranked very high going into this year.
No, I'll be interested to see.
Yep.
So
you've got 2 guys on the same team and wearing purple. 2 there.
Yeah, but the one there really is starting to fall off as well.
Yep.
Okay. Then you can talk about even on the Steelers. Okay. Are you talking Muth? Yes. Are you talking Jonnu Smith? My thought process around this is if there is one person who could benefit the most from Jonnu Smith being on the team, it's Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say that my number 2 for this list was tight end Pat Freiermuth.
Okay.
And it's for the same thing. And it's because I said Joey Porter Jr. is 3, because what he needs to do, if he's better than former Pro Bowlers Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey, former All-Pro guys, I should say, then he should be the guy who's looked at first before you would get to those guys. Same thing with Pat Freiermuth, but I put him higher on the list because he's just got to be better than one guy that was in the Pro Bowl last year. It's not like he's all pro or anything like that, But if Jonnu Smith was a Pro Bowler last year and Pat Freiermuth is better than him this year, then you should be looking Freiermuth before Smith. And that's part of the reason why I think that he would have a really good chance to do it. Along with what you said is that I think things, the other one being here, could open up some things for each of them.
Correct, because I look at it this way. So if you're playing 12 personnel and your two tight ends are Freiermuth and Smith, and let's say Smith comes out and lines up in the slot, okay? Chances are he's gonna demand coverage rolling his direction, right? Especially if you line him up in the slot and you leave Muth down on the end of the line. That is going to allow Muth, depending on how Arthur Smith could scheme things, it's going to leave good matchups for Muth potentially. And, with DK Metcalf and Jonnu Smith, you're talking probably one-on-one coverage for Pat Freiermuth. A lot of times he could end up one-on-one with a linebacker going down a seam or something like that. And I think there is great potential there for Pat Freiermuth to put up some really solid numbers.
I agree, but I'm going to tell you this. I think it has just as much, if not, I could say maybe if not more, to do with who potentially is throwing him the football.
Yes.
Even if it ends
Yes.
up being Mason Rudolph. How many times when I see clips online after a game, someone saying, what do you know, Pat Freiermuth wasn't the first read on this, and he's running wide open, and he doesn't even get looked at. You hit Freiermuth on this, it's a touchdown. And it seemed like almost every time it was Pat Freiermuth. Whenever I would see these clips, it wasn't one of the wide receivers. It was almost always Freiermuth. So I think
Or Washington.
yeah, that's true too. That's where it was. So I think there's a potential. That's that wicked P word. There's a potential that something really great could happen there. Doesn't mean that it will, but it's potential. Okay. All right, so we both said Freiermuth. So I'm going to go ahead and write down who I believe you're going to have for your number one. And we can go ahead and get that as we count it down. Rich had Peyton Wilson 5, Deshaun Elliott 4, Zach Frazier 3, Pat Freiermuth 2, and...
Go ahead, Dave. Tell them who my number one is.
your Joey Porter Jr.
Yes. Now, let me explain to you why I put him at number one, okay? Having Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey on the team is going to do one of two things, okay? The first thing you expect to happen then would be who will teams throw at? Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, or Joey Porter Jr.? If they decide they're going to throw more at Joey Porter Jr., that gives him more chances to make plays. Okay?
Yeah.
And be noticed. If they choose and they don't throw at Joey Porter Jr., what does that say then that they would rather throw at Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay?
Okay.
Kind of understand what I'm saying there? Is like,
Yeah.
man, what kind of respect are they showing JPJ then if they're not throwing at him? I expect teams to come out and probably throw more at him. I expect to see his interception numbers go up this year.
Yeah, because they don't. That
Throw
they're
in the
going to have
fact
to throw.
they're going to throw at him, okay? He's going to be able to take gambles because safeties aren't going to have to be covering up for the lack of coverage on the outside. Safeties are going to be able to do their thing. So as corners, they're going to be able to take some risks knowing they're going to have the help behind them. Not the help having to cover up their inabilities to cover, air quotes. So,
Yes.
I think I'm still going with JPJ number one. I understand exactly why you moved him. I thought about
Yes.
it and decided to stay with him.
Gotcha. Yeah, because if one of those other guys is playing well and is on the Pro Bowl, then that just makes it extremely hard for him to do it.
Yeah.
So,
But even though they're staying away from those other guys and throwing at him, you think, oh, look, they don't even want to throw at Jalen Ramsey. Oh, they don't want to throw at Darius Slay. Well, they're throwing at Joey Porter Jr., and he has 7 interceptions. You can't ignore that.
yeah. Well, and also, you're not sure. I don't think it's going to be as obvious where these guys are lining up all the time. I mean, we say that now, but we've still got to wait till the season comes around. That you just don't know exactly how they're going to be deployed. Like you pretty much knew that the Steelers, who was going to have help, who wasn't going to have help. I mean, my goodness. Now who you helping or do you have to help? And that's what we got to figure out and see whenever we get to training camp with all that good stuff. But no, I see that, and I can see why that's your number one. So, Rich, let me count down my 5. It was 5 was Troy Falatanu, 4 was Deshaun Elliott, 3 was Joey Porter Jr., 2 was Pat Freiermuth, and my number 1 is, you say it,
Zach Frazier.
Zach Frazier. You want to know why? Because Zach Frazier should have been a Pro Bowl player last year. The only thing it was the infamous offensive line name recognition, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to know why it should have been? You made a great point about Creed Humphrey and Tyler Linderbaum. But guess what? Creed Humphrey was playing in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So there was another player named to the Pro Bowl. Do you know who it was last year?
No, I don't.
It was
That's how much I paid
Connor
attention.
McGovern from the Buffalo Bills. I'm sorry. No, it should have been Zach Frazier. It should have been Zach Frazier. Now, to me, the way I look at it is you've got the 3 best centers in the NFL right there now. In year 2, can Frazier take a jump and be better than Linderbaum? Sure can. Absolutely. He could earn it outright. But the other thing is, you look at those 3 teams, there's a decent chance one of those 3 teams is going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Now, the only thing that stinks is if it's the Steelers, for Zach Frazier, trust me, it wouldn't stink for us, is if the Steelers are in the Super Bowl and they chose the other 2, then they're both just going to do it, and then they're not another person. So, and that just takes away. But you know what? I'm pretty sure Zach Frazier would surrender being a Pro Bowler in order to be in the Super Bowl. So that's, so I don't want to make it seem like that was really a serious problem. But so to me, Frazier already has the name recognition. If either one of those 2 guys falters, I'm going to say, I probably shouldn't. I'm going to say some similar things about him. This is what I said about Joey Porter Jr. last year at this time. He doesn't have to be any better than what he was last year to still be really freaking good. Honestly.
Yeah.
He's all he has to do is play the same level that he played last year, and he should be a Pro Bowler. The only thing that kept him out last year was the whole year delay name recognition. Even if he has a little bit of a down year, he should still make the Pro Bowl because of the name recognition, because it usually comes a year later. That's why I think Zach Frazier should be there, just because of the whole year delay thing. And you already said your piece on Frazier, right?
Yeah, right. And, I can't argue you. You notice that, we had number 4 the same. We had the same guys at 1, 2, and 3. We just changed up who was where, and we had our reasons for that. Again, I can't argue your reasons for wanting to put them in the order you did. I'm guessing you probably can understand my thought process and why I put them in the order I did. And really, I just hope a couple of these guys could make a Pro Bowl.
Yeah. I like this list. I mean, we liked our list last year and it didn't work out. But honestly, I feel better this year about it than I did last year. It is what it is. So, all right. So to recap, Rich, your 5?
Would be inside linebacker Peyton Wilson, safety Deshaun Elliott, center Zach Frazier, tight end Pat Freiermuth, and cornerback Joey Porter Jr.
Mine goes tackle Troy Falatanu, safety Deshaun Elliott, corner Joey Porter Jr., tight end Pat Fairmouth, and center Zach Frazier. That is our 5. All right, Rich, it's time for our 5 minutes of non-Steelers talk. And guess what?
What?
Have you been paying attention?
Yes, we got 5
we got
to
4
choose from.
Was it 4 or 5?
5.
Because all of them are pretty good so far. So what are you thinking? You get to pick.
So I'll read out to you what they were. They were 70s favorite 70s game shows, blockbuster movies we haven't seen,
Okay.
personal story that the chat hasn't heard about us,
Okay.
our favorite vacation,
Okay.
or items at the top of our bucket list.
How about I narrow it to 2 and you pick?
Okay.
Let's do one of the first 2, but if we do number 1, we won't keep it to just the 70s.
Oh, if you're doing that, then I'm taking blockbuster movies we haven't seen,
Okay.
because when that one came
All right.
up, I was running through a whole bunch in my head already.
All right. Then I'm going to let you start.
Blockbuster movie that I haven't seen. Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, you didn't see? I saw that in the theater one time, and that's all. And that was. It's really, really good, but it's not one that you want to watch a bunch of times necessarily.
Nope, haven't seen it.
So why haven't you watched it?
I don't know. No, it just didn't interest me.
I got a question because I know what I thought you were going to say first.
What did you think I was going to say first?
Unless you've watched it since, because I remember the time you wouldn't watch it. One of the highest
No, I still
grossing
haven't.
movies of all time.
That one's out there to talk. Actually, 2 of the highest grossing movies of all time I have out there.
Yeah. So can I go ahead and say it for you?
You can say it for me.
It was. You haven't seen Titanic still, have you?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
So, and I will go ahead and throw a third one out there that I have never seen, blockbuster movie. I have never seen Schindler's List.
Wow. You've never seen Schindler's List.
See, I'm not the Dave. I've never been the moviegoer you've been. So,
Rich.
Just Dave, you went to the movies today.
I did go to the movies. How did you know? Did I tell you?
You texted me this morning and said,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I
said you were
did.
going
I
to
did.
the
I took
movies.
I took my son to see the new Superman movie. He wanted to see it. I made him watch Man of Steel first. Didn't make him watch the original Superman, which is great. But my kids these days, they don't understand how cheesy the graphics were then, that they can't get over it because they didn't experience them at that time. So I went to the new Superman today. I would say I asked him if he told when my wife asked him about it, he said I'd go see it again, and my answer was, well, if he's going to see it again, you'd have to take him because I'm not going to see it again. I was not. It was a typical DC movie. Anyway, but yeah, I do go to the movies. I love going to the movies. But Rich, well, you know what I was going to say?
I'm lucky if I go to see a movie in the movie theater once a year.
Oh no, I went on back-to-back days.
And
Back-to-back days a couple weeks ago.
Here's the other thing that Renee and I will always do. Like we end up choosing some of the most. We don't necessarily gravitate towards the movies that are labeled the blockbuster. We gravitate towards the movies that are labeled good or get good ratings, but not the movie of the summer.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But Rich, I still haven't got to finish my one thought before, because you know what I was going to say?
What?
A movie that I've never seen
Yes.
is Schindler's List.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it either. It wasn't even it was just over a week ago. Yeah, because it was coming back from vacation. My wife was reading me trivia. That's one of the things we like to do in the car. She just reads me trivia, and I got the answer right, but that's what she's like. You need to watch that movie sometime with Schindler's List and everything. You know, I know our parents went and saw it in the theater, but I have not seen Schindler's List. I can continue to say I have not seen Die Hard, any of the Die Hard movies.
Really?
I have not seen any of the Lethal Weapon movies.
Oh my gosh! Now, see, now you're getting into the movies that are my kind of movies. Now, except I hate the first Die Hard. It is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I don't care what
I
anyone
don't know.
says. It's not
Here-
a Christmas movie.
I
But
want to make something
that's
because
not my I actually, that one almost ruined the other Die Hards for me. I didn't go see the
Gotcha.
other two in the theater, but I've watched them and was like, oh, these are pretty good.
yeah. All right, I got to actually say this before the time runs out. Matthew Mulaney says movies are fun in the theater. It's rare that I go to the movie theater and don't enjoy the movie,
Uh-oh.
just
No,
because I like the whole experience.
oh, wow. A couple of them out
Oh.
there. I can't believe Afton says she's never seen
Afton's-
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank, best Stephen King movie ever.
Yes.
Shawshank Redemption. Most people don't
Yes.
realize it's from a Stephen King short story.
And
Okay.
I can't believe, bring up Carl. I can't believe this.
Carl, never seen The Matrix. Kathy, she's in
Don't
the.
bring it
she's-
up.
Nope, she's
yeah.
in the Jeff Hartman category. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's just terrible.
Yeah. So but I've never watched. Like I said, I haven't watched Die Hard. I haven't watched Lethal Weapon. And that's the. So mine are some of the more popular movies like that I could say that I've never seen. But our time is up. I do have to tell a story. I told this story to Greg Benefit before our show a couple weeks ago, and he got a big kick out of it. I brought it up to our sister while we were on vacation, and that is sometimes you just don't make the right choice in movies. Because I remember years ago, our parents decided they were going to go to the movies, and they gave us the option to that we could each pick whatever movie we wanted to go to see. I was only like 11 or 12, but they were even going to let me go see a PG-13 movie. Okay, it was going to be the first time seeing one in the theater. I mean, I could have anytime.
And
I could have
can't
passed
believe
for.
I can't believe you.
Yeah,
picked-
just hold on. You gotta let me finish. So our parents were going to see Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Rich had an option. He went and watched Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He did. Our sister tried to talk me into going to see another movie with her.
What did she go?
Field of Dreams.
Oh, that's right.
So she's like, I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out watching Field of Dreams all by myself. No. I held out.
Just so
I
you
was
know,
going to see the best of them all.
I was by myself at the Indiana Jones movie. You think Mom and Dad?
Because
would
you
let me
didn't sit with
them?
Mom and Dad, did you?
No, they were like,
No.
you go sit by yourself.
Yeah.
We're on a date. I'm like, okay.
And instead, I went to see No Holds Barred.
That's what I'm
One
talking
of
about,
the
brother.
worst movies ever. That was my choice as a kid. I didn't see The Last Crusade or Field of Dreams in the theater because I watched No Holds Barred. I thought you all might appreciate that. The reason I told Greg that story is because we had to change up our recording time 1 week because it was out for the whatever 35th or whatever it is. Would it be 30? No, it would be 35th. Yeah, 35th anniversary. That over Father's Day weekend, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade was back out in the theaters. They had one more showing on a Wednesday, and I took my son to see it because we'd watched Raiders of the Lost Ark. He had just watched Temple of Doom at our dad's house. And then, so that was the next one for him to see. So I took him to see it. The day after, we had just gone as a family to watch a movie the night before. So I went back-to-back days going to the movies. I've actually done double features. Not where it's a scheduled double feature. Like I'll go to the movies and watch one movie and then turn around and pay for. Because I'll be honest with you, Rich, I've never in my life snuck into the movies.
Nope.
I've
me
always
either.
paid for my ticket.
Yep.
So just thought I
right.
put that
What-
out there.
one thing I
Okay.
do need to bring
Wait,
up-
say, this is a good one. This is a good one because we have to go. Corey says that Corey Eckenroth says that qualifies as a funny story, guys. So you filled that quota for free. So
No, we did not. We did not, Corey. Believe me.
we have
At
others we
some
can
point
do,
in
but that
time,
did
I
fill
will
the
have
quota.
to tell the story about Dave and the goat. Not
Oh,
Dave is
the goat story.
Just Dave and the goat.
The goat story. Yes, we'll have to hit that one up sometime.
Oh, I got many stories on Dave.
Yes.
Many.
So, yeah. I mean, or I could tell how I'm the only person who's ever given you a black eye.
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm not. Did you get one since then? That was,
No.
I gave you your first black eye.
You gave me my first black.
Yeah, that was it. So, all right, Rich, it is time to roll on. We went over our 5 minutes there, but that was also fun to tell that story. How I kind of screwed that
I hope
one
you've
up
been
a little bit.
typing. You've been typing?
I have not. I have not.
What are you waiting on? Christmas?
But I mean, I think people know what's coming. We're going to ask you all the question of the show, and yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. It's out there for you. Which member of the 2025 Steelers is going to make their first Pro Bowl this year? Rich, if he was answering for one, he would say Joey Porter Jr. Mine was Zach Frazier. So you all now get to tell us, no, you only get to pick one, just one. We got to count them down. So if we just did one, that would be it. So I don't know if it showed up in all the places. I know it
showed
did
up on YouTube. Yeah,
Sometimes
it
it's a little bit delayed before we can get that. So
Right away.
while we're waiting for those to come in, that's when I'll go ahead and
The bigger
say,
thing I notice is that I actually get it on YouTube. I can see the response on YouTube before they come up to us.
before they come up here. I've noticed that as well. If we follow along, we just can't bring them up on screen. So I will say, make sure you're checking out steelcurtainnetwork.com. Lots of good stuff. Go in there. As I said, tomorrow I'm telling you why it's too complicated to come up with a salary cap update because of stuff going on with Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Also, I finished one series of like where PFF ranks stuff. I'm doing my series that I did last year, and I'm looking at the best players under certain categories that the Steelers have to go up against this year. And it's based on last year's numbers. So starting off tomorrow, it's who were the best running backs the Steelers have to face this year. And break some of that down. So I'll be doing one of those each day, all the way up until the day of the Steelers' first practice. So we've got that coming. Make sure you're checking out all of our podcasts here at Steel Curtain Network. We've been trying to continue to bring it for you. Do we have some?
Yes,
we now have some answers going on here because Afton Ford, she says it's Frazier. Okay. Like daughter, like mother, Kathy Ford also says Zach Frazier. Corey Eckenroth says Zach Frazier is the most obvious. He might be the most obvious just because I think he got snubbed last year. And it's the whole offensive line name recognition. But he's not the only one. He really isn't. But we're getting a lot of them. Matthew Mullaney, he says Frazier naturally. Let's see. TD Tom Dessenberger says Frazier. Brent Howell says Frazier. Wait, that was about the best Stephen King movie. Just see, I always love to, sorry, going back to the movies for a second. I always love to talk about how Shawshank Redemption, people don't realize that was based on a short story by Stephen King. So that's why I like to throw that out there as one of those things. I don't think you were so rich. Do you want to reconsider having Zach Frazier's number 3?
No.
No, I like your list. I like both of our lists. There's different reasons for different things. That's all I have right here coming up right now, unless you have anything else that you can see there.
No, not seeing any others right now.
All right, so man, we are. It's
finally
funny
for once are coming
because
in under the time limit.
yeah, or like
We're
like
not gonna
Kathy
get
said, it's our first time of being unanimous. Okay. It's funny because Corey Eckenroth says, surprise second choice DK Metcalf will probably work. That doesn't work. He doesn't qualify. He's made the Pro Bowl before.
Yeah.
And it's not his first time with the Steelers because that's why there was no Slay, no Ramsey, no Rodgers, no Metcalf. None of those guys technically count because they've made the Pro Bowl even in other places. So, Rich, when we get this close to camp, part of me gets excited, but then I'm also like, yikes. Once training camp gets here, man, I'm really bogged down with doing the tracker every day because I'm making sure I'm doing that for SteelCurtainNetwork.com and everything, and it's really going to take off. I've got to make sure that I'm taking advantage of these last 9 or 10 days before training camp kicks in, and try to make sure I get some stuff, spend some time with family and do some other things. So there's that. So with everything else, Rich, how would you like to close this out here tonight?
Yeah, it's going to get crazy. Training camp's getting near. Then training camp, then preseason, then regular season, and here we go. Hey, I've still got, I'm down to 1 game out of 3 that I'm going to be looking to get rid of. So I've already gotten rid of, I believe, I got rid of my Bengals tickets. So I still have Browns, Colts, or Bills. Getting rid of 1 more game, willing to do. If you're not sure, reach out to Dave. He'll get you in touch with me, and we can talk if there's anything you're looking for.
And I should know my exact games that I have this time next week.
Oh, thank you. You probably got it. You probably got a text from somebody a couple days ago. No?
Well, yeah, I did. I have people asking. I've already got a bit of a waiting list. So, but the problem is I'm still trying to get our brother-in-law moving to make his decision on which games he's going to.
Yeah, understood. So, hey, it's here. You know, a week from tonight is Training Camp Eve. Our next show is Training Camp Eve. Then we're into camp, and as much as times you say you hate to talk about practice, I can't wait to talk about practice, because it's just that next step bringing us closer. You know, practice leads to preseason, preseason leads to regular season. Can't wait.
We gotta just chill out, man.
Can't wait.